We are live. What's up? I wanted to jump on a little early. I know there's some people hanging out in the chat I wanted to say hello to. We got a jam-packed day today. I got a ton of news and information. Of course, we're going to cover XRP. The Visa CEO came out. There's a clip floating around Twitter right now about stablecoins and how important they are. We're going to get into some updates around the BIS and Angel. Angel's doing so well for a lot of us. I'm super excited about that. Plus, man, just a ton of like XRP and Bitcoin and Genius Act and other related news. We also have a very special guest coming in about an hour. I think he's got another meeting here, but we're going to have the founder of More Markets on. And I've seen a lot of people like Crypto Erie and some big names in the XRP space really excited about More Markets. And so I really want to understand what it all that they're doing, why people should pay attention, and we're going to get all of those questions answered. I forgot to grab something off the printer. Give me 1 second here, and I'll say hello to everyone and answer some questions before we get started. 1 second. Come on, lay down. It's okay. Lay down. You're okay. We're going to stay here. Luna's like, where are we going? I've been going in and out of the office all day today, and she's just getting frustrated because I keep moving, and she's trying to get a nap in, and I haven't let her sleep very well. So hopefully she gets a good nap in. Let me say what's up to everybody. We have AK Scarcase here. What's up, AK? Great to see you. Chipper's here, man. It's all good, Chipper. I know. It's a tough situation for a lot of people. Like the thing that I don't understand is that if you've been in the crypto space for some time and you've participated in DeFi or a lot of new projects, chances are those projects have either failed or rugged. And it's just shocking to me that none of these people that are attacking me have ever experienced that. Like, I just don't quite understand. Like, it happened to all of us. I'm trying to do a lot of things to make up for what happened. And I've been getting a ton of abuse from a bunch of people, and it's like the same people that want me to come out and help, promote and do their GoFundMe pages and all this are the same people attacking me. And so like I'm in this very weird place of like everything I do gets misconstrued and misrepresented, and I'm kind of in the space where like I want to do more to help, but every time I do, people attack me. And so just trying to figure out what the sweet spot is there. But hey, I appreciate you, standing up for me. And I know there's not everyone is going to be happy, but I really appreciate you, Chipper. So thank you so much, man. Well, I got Christopher here. Christopher, always nice to see you, man. You always bring some really kind words. He says, aloha, sensei. I hope you're well. Wife and Luna had a fantastic weekend. As always, I'm grateful for your channel and all the great content. Let's get into it. XRP, man. Thank you for bringing such a great positive energy to the space. I love you. Thank you, man. Ali Crypto is here. Ali Crypto. Nice to see you. Curtis is here. Curtis, thank you so much. We got Curtis and Ariana mods in the chat, keeping everybody safe. I think LEX will probably be here as well. So thank you guys so much. Isan Baran is here talking about, will it be great if you let us know about your perspective or decentralized assets, specifically on Hex and Pulse Chain? So I don't know too much about Pulse Chain. I did put, I think it was like $4,000 or $5,000 into Pulse Chain back in the last bull market, expecting that, hey, this could be something. I know since everything happened, I've seen Richard Hart spending a ton of money, and maybe that's his own money and maybe it's other people's money. I just don't know. But I think like with a lot of crypto projects that there's been a lot of promises and a lot of missed opportunities to keep those promises. So I probably am not the expert on Hex or Pulse Chain, so I'd love to give you even more context, but I just don't have it. So, but I appreciate your question and thank you for being here. You got a fan club here, man. Appreciate you. I really appreciate you. This is why I keep getting up here and doing it. We got Scott here. Great to see you, Scott. What rugged? It was a project called Moonacy. And the really tricky part here is let me explain this to you. So what people don't understand is that Moonacy worked. The protocol worked for months. And what happened is people were making all kinds of money. And so this is directly from a victim that I spoke to last week. And he said that he entered the project around March, and that he was making so much money a day that he kept on adding more and more money into the platform. But he was cashing out, he was pulling out, and like he was blown away. And so he actually came into the chat a few times and said how great it was going. And actually dozens of people came into the chat and said how great it was going. And then all of a sudden withdrawals stopped working. So, your typical like, oh shit, what's happening? Just withdrawals stopped working. I started putting immense pressure on the agency and on, putting pressure on the agency to put pressure on Moonacy to fix these issues. And Moonacy just disappeared. And after it disappeared, instead of like, there's been these groups of victims that have gotten together, and instead of like focusing on like, who are these criminals? How do we find them? How do we get our money back? It's more of like, let's blame the influencers that talked about it. And I get the frustration, right? You can be mad at me. I get it. But like, everybody was fooled by this, right? It was a very complex scam that went on for over half a year. And I don't know what the conclusion will be here. I know that there was a GoFundMe page that represented maybe like 5 or 6 victims. It sounds like there are hundreds of victims here. And, I have said that I would, any money that I have made from the agency that paid me to make a video about Moonacy, that I would donate that to victims. And so there was this first GoFundMe page, and I donated, I think it was like £300. Okay. This GoFundMe page represented maybe 2 or 3% of the victims, and I gave 10% of what I actually made on the project. And so I actually got reamed for that too, not giving all of the money, right? And so I thought like, hey, what about the other victims? And like, there's going to be other victims groups and other people trying to get back money. In all of my videos, I have a donation page to try to help those victims out, like those specific victims that first created the group. And I will continue to try to do everything I can to help those victims. And it's been a very difficult time. Like I don't think this last like month, I don't know if you've seen it on my face and the way that I go, but I've been just completely stressed out by all this. And it's soul crushing. It is heart soul crushing to hear some of these stories. And I'm trying to do everything I can. All right. Everything is at your own risk. Yeah. I have lost money to scams and to rugs. I have never thought to go blame somebody that like retweeted a post or made a video. Like, that is not who was the person who did this, right? Who had the bad intention of doing it. It was the parties that actually did the scamming. So they don't know who these people are. And so it is me who's taking the blunt of it. And that's fine. But it is affecting my health in a massive way. And I don't know how it's going to work out, but I'm going to try to do everything I can. All right, let's get back to the news, guys. Let me do this. If you can share the space, I'd really appreciate it. Usually when I do these interviews, sometimes, people are reluctant to come in because they don't know if we're going through news or interviews, but I promise you this is going to be a good one today. So let's go ahead and get some information in. And of course I will get to your questions, but let's get a little bit of news in here first. So just taking a look here at the market, Bitcoin is at 106,000. We have been on this yo-yo ride because of the Israel-Iran conflict. There has been some words and comments by the U.S. president saying that there is a ceasefire, and right after like he announced it, there was bombs being dropped on Tehran. So I don't know how all of this is going to pan out. There, 1 minute there's a ceasefire, 1 minute there's not. Obviously, if there is a ceasefire, that's going to be good for markets because it takes away uncertainty. But if it continues to go on, I would imagine the market won't really know what to do, and people could panic. So just let's keep an eye on all of this, what's going on, and we will I will keep you up to date with everything that I possibly can, so you can have the best information possible. Obviously, doing research yourself is what you need to do. I hope that what I do helps you learn how to research, as well as gives you more information to make better choices out here. All right. So XRP here, I mean, you can look at any asset, right? Like I've shown this in multiple chats. Like if you just go into XRP. Oh my God, I have so many windows open here. My computer is like dying. Okay. If you take a look at the last month, you can see here, like this is kind of when some news started to happen and like, fell off. And then, we got some news that maybe things were cooling off and then like it completely just took a dump. And, like when we drop 10%, guys, these are opportunities, right? If you think the market is going to continue to go up, like I've seen so many different dips in the crypto market. I remember Bitcoin used to dip like 50%, 40%. People would just panic. If you believe that the market is going to remain strong over the next, 6 to 8 months or whatever it is, people take advantage of this stuff. I can tell you that I personally bought some SUI on the dip. All right. A few $1,000 worth of SUI. Okay. Let's get into what's going on here. This is a brand new video circling today. I made a video about it. It's not out yet, so you're going to get it here first. This is the CEO of Visa talking about their strategy for stablecoins. Let's get into it.
We've been embracing and building for years, preparing for this moment. The Genius Act has now passed the Senate, as you know, and is expected to pass the House. I think that'll give regulatory clarity to stablecoins. And we've been embracing stablecoins. We've been enabling people to issue Visa credentials on top of stablecoins. We've been modernizing our own settlement infrastructure with stablecoins. And we have a whole host of innovations that we plan to deploy around the world embracing stablecoins.
Do you believe then stablecoins are going to be a significant way that people transact in the future?
Hey, David, we think there's product market fit for stablecoins in 3 areas. The first is the capital markets use case, and you've seen that with crypto trading, and that's true globally, here in the US and around the world. But the product market fit that's most interesting going forward is outside the US. And there's 2 areas. The first is countries where you've got high currency volatility or currency controls, where people really want to have access to US dollars, and they either can't get US dollars or it's very expensive to do that. Stable coins provide an opportunity for people in those countries. Maybe there's 30, 40, 50 of those countries around the world to have easy, cost-efficient access to US dollars. And we'll plan to give them Visa credentials on top of those stable coins that they can spend in merchants around their country or other places. The second area of product market fit is cross-border. And that can be remittances, person to person, or business to business transactions. And in both of those areas, those are additive opportunities for Visa, and we're embracing stable coins and building and innovating on top of them to provide new use cases in those areas. Right. I think there's a little confusion because most stable coins are US dollar denominated, people immediately think about use cases in the United States, when I think most people who studied this and are active in this really understand that the product market fit is outside the US.
The product market fit is outside of the US. So like this spurred a lot of interesting thoughts in my head when I first heard this, right? They, Visa is a global business, right? Anywhere in the world, I think, they're in, I don't know how many countries. Is it all countries, 195? Anyways, you can pretty much go anywhere and use your Visa card. So when you're doing payments all around the world, you're doing them in different currencies. And I imagine if you're going back and forth between different currencies, having some type of bridge asset might be beneficial. So I did a video earlier, and I just want to show you this, right? I said, if Visa creates a stable coin, what blockchain might they use? Because I just really want to understand, maybe where AI sees this. Obviously they're pulling this is pulling in so much data from so many places. It's really good to understand what this is thinking. And then obviously I can give you some of the context that I believe. So likely blockchain choices, Ethereum and Solana. So the issues I have here, right? Ethereum is widely adopted, for blockchain and stablecoins and enterprise grade financial applications. The issue here might be like cost. When Ethereum network gets a little bit busy, things are a little bit more expensive. Obviously, if you wanted to take the cheapest solution, Solana, maybe even XRP would be a good idea. Solana was chosen here. Solana offers a high transaction throughput, about 65,000 transactions per second, and low fees. The only issue I have with Solana is it goes down a lot. When you have a lot of people trading stable coins on Solana, it has a history of, just halting and stopping. And so I wonder, like, is that really a solution that Visa wants to go down? Can you imagine their network going down for an hour or 30 minutes? I mean, it could be millions of dollars lost, right? So you start to just think, like, is this going to be a good selection? Or are they going to be on multiple chains? It would make sense that it's multiple chains. And, I also asked, if XRP would be a good choice. And it said, yes, the XRP ledger would absolutely be a blockchain that could be considered by Visa issuing a stablecoin. And it talks about, regulatory compliance, speed and efficiency, native support for stablecoins like USDC, RLUSD, and different currencies, right? There's a lot of other stablecoins from banks and institutions that are being built on the XRP ledger. So, any one of these technologies makes sense. We'll just have to see how this plays out. I made a video today about all this. I really get into the details if you really want to understand this a bit more. I also showed some great connections between Visa and, of course, Ripple and XRP. But at the end of the day, we really don't know which way this is going to go, but understand that it could be a host of different technologies. Now, Amazing Swiss said something about Sui after the hack. I just want to address this. What Amazing Switzerland is talking about is this. They're talking about the DEX that was hacked. So in May 2025, there was a DEX, a decentralized exchange called Cetus Protocol, that was hacked. So the exploit occurred on May 22nd, 2025. The target was Cetus Protocol, the primary DEX and liquidity provider on Sui. Amount stolen between 200 and 230 million. And so the attacker exploited an algorithmic overflow bug in Cetus's concentralized liquidity market maker, manipulating liquidity withdrawal values to siphon off real tokens. So I just want to be very clear that this is not a problem with the Sui blockchain. This was an issue with a DEX that had some vulnerabilities, and hackers took advantage of those vulnerabilities. But it doesn't have anything particularly to do with the Sui blockchain. So I still think Sui is a great choice, and I am continuously buying Sui. My goal is to own about 100,000 Sui. If I get there, fantastic. If I don't, if I can get even close to that, I'd be very, very happy. Jess said, "Hey Sensei family, hello. It's a hot Tuesday here in Ohio. Hope everyone's having a great day." Jessa, it's always a pleasure to see you. Thank you for being here. Great to have you. Chris, what did you say here, Chris? Is there any way to specifically determine if ISO has begun? Yeah, I've done all this. I've done all this fact checking, Chris. It has. Yeah. So, man, I'm trying to think which video I could send you to, but just to give you like the gist of what's going on here, if you bring up Perplexity. Actually, you know what? Let's do this together, man. And hopefully this helps you in the future. So let's bring this up. I'm going to share this. So what do you want to do here is we want to search the question specifically that Chris is asking is there any way to specifically determine if ISO has begun? And that's a great question, Chris. So we would say, can you give me all the updated information about ISO 20022 being used globally? How many transactions are being processed per day using ISO 20022 right now? And the quick answer is a few million. I think it's like 1.6 million or 2 million. But yeah, you are already experiencing ISO messages. Let me see here. Did this pull up the right information? Here you go, brother. I got you. Daily transaction volumes right here. It says, as of April 2025, the average number of ISO 20022 payment instructions processed daily exceeds 1.6 million across the SWIFT network. And so there's also here, right, earlier April, it was over 980,000 ISO messages, rapidly growing. And there's also Chaps UK. They process about 192,000 ISO transactions per day. Target handles about 373,000 transactions a day. Euro 1 does 176,000 transactions a day. And so to answer your question is, yeah, there are millions of transactions per day right now being used by ISO. Now, I get where your mind might be going here. Your mind might be going to, well, they're not using crypto. Like it's never going to happen. Right. And I get that thought process when you hear that information. Right. That's why I put out a thing on my Twitter profile today, on my X profile, saying, do you believe that July 14th, that ISO will, cause XRP price to go up. I personally do not think July 14th anything's going to happen. I think it's just another day that will come and go. I still think, right, just because you can use ISO messages doesn't mean that you're using crypto. Now, to use crypto, I do think in the future that this will happen, but you got to understand that in the United, I can't speak to like what's happening in the UK or what's happening in Japan or Switzerland or in the European Union, because, I'm not on the ground there. And, it's difficult you're only getting specific information. But just to circle back to this, ISO 20022, once banks get regulation, I feel like in the United States, regulation is still up in the air of what it's going to look like. And I think banks don't want to put themselves in a position where they're starting to use crypto and then something happens with regulation where they're doing something that they shouldn't be doing. And, they're in trouble, right? Banks are always working on de-risking. And so I think that they are going to use it eventually here. It's just, you're not seeing that now. And I also wanted to try to track to see like how many payments are being used in ISO with crypto, but there's no data on that. It's like, there's nothing counting that. So, but I did try to find out. I hope that helps you. I really do. No risk, no reward. Wow, you are efficient. I try to be like, the reason I kind of do this live with you, because I hope it helps teach you kind of how I'm able to, pull something up really quickly to better understand it. Like, if you're not using AI to fact check things like in real time, you got to do it. Like, you can put in a document. Like I do this often. Anytime I see something on X where I'm like, you think this is real? I put it into Perplexity. I say, is this scam or is this legit? And Perplexity will give me some information, and then I can cross-reference the information that it provides. I'll check the links that it has, and it really can. You can figure stuff out in 30 seconds or a minute. It's really freaking awesome, man. It's really awesome. If you're not using like AI right now, you got to. All right, let's get back to this. There's so much more information, guys. So much more information. So if you didn't know, I don't want to play this whole clip because this is kind of like a snooze fest, but the Fed's decision to end, basically they're asking Jerome Powell about people getting debanked and of course cryptocurrency. Let me just play a little bit of this for you.
Chairman Hill, thank you, Chairman Powell, for being with us today. I want to dive into two actions the Fed's recently taken to get a little additional color on. Yesterday, the Fed announced that reputational risk would no longer be a component in bank exams. I viewed that positively. I viewed the reputational risk as often being a catch-all for political bias. I think it's positive to depoliticize bank exams and instead focus on the core and measurable risks. Could you provide color as to whether or not any new or new information came to light that led to the decision of the Fed to remove that yesterday?
I'm not aware of any new information. No, we just think it's the right thing to do, and of course made an announcement on Monday under Governor Bowman's, Vice Chair Bowman's leadership.
Why would it not have been done previously if it's the right thing to do? I agree with you, it's the right thing to do. Why was it? Any timeline as to why that was done yesterday versus previously?
No, I think this is a problem that we came to understand as a problem over the course of the last couple of years, and began considering what's going on here. We're hearing a lot of reports of debanking and that sort of thing. And over the course of really 2024, came to the view that this was a serious problem that we need to address. And we've said that publicly. And now we're doing this, and so are the other agencies, by the way.
I appreciate you taking that action. I do agree that there were real political bias in some of those exams, in particular as it related to regulated entities engaged in the digital asset space. Let me shift into the digital asset space. If I can, another action recently taken by the Fed, the Novel Activities Supervision Program was ended and withdrew several statements on digital asset related risks that deterred bank involvement in particular. You in the Fed and others at the Fed have spoken positively about the House and Senate work to regulate stablecoin in particular, a real opportunity to dollarize the globe and be a significant purchaser of U.S. Treasuries. Following that action by the Fed, have you seen an identifiable shift in banks or other regulated entities as it relates to engagement in the digital asset space?
You know, I wouldn't be the one to be picking that up first, but what I do see is a very significant change in the tone, and it really does reflect evolving thinking and the evolving status of the crypto industry. And I would expect over time we'll see more activity.
How is the Fed evaluating and overseeing banks or other regulated entities that are in the digital assets or crypto space?
So our view is that banks get to decide who their customers are. That's not our decision. And so banks are free to provide banking services to the crypto industry, to crypto companies. And banks are also free to conduct crypto activities as long as they do so in a way that is, protective of safety and soundness.
Thank you very much. Let me shift gears because I want to give you just a little bit of an opportunity.
All right, there's a lot of cool stuff here. I'm actually going to make a video about this and really play everything and give you context along the way. I just didn't want to take 10, 15 minutes of your time to go through this, but a lot of really good things are being said in Congress right now about crypto and digital assets. Luna's going to freak out here. They're cleaning the windows, and so I'm just preparing for it. All right, you know what? I don't need to talk about this. Let's keep it going. Oh, you know what? I did find this really interesting. All right. So I'll share this with you. I did a video about this as well. I thought this was important. What people, oh, here it comes. Here it comes. Oh. Should I open the window and you can see the people in the window? Hold on. Hold on one second. These people hang off the building on ropes. It's crazy. I would never do this job. Oh, he can't see him. He's this way. Hold on. You see the ropes? You see his foot right there in the top right? Or he's sitting on the ledge? See him right there? Crazy stuff, man. Crazy stuff. All right, let's close this. Anyway, all right, let's get back to this. I get distracted easily. That's just me. What I wanted to understand is banks building their own infrastructure, right? What does that look like? How long would it take a bank to build their own, like, let's say blockchain, right? Move it forward, right? What is involved in that? I really like drilling down on these specific things. So, uh-oh, here we go. Panic. Come here. It's okay. You're okay. Come here. Come here. Oh, we're under the debt. We're under the table. You okay, sweetie? You're okay. Come here. Luna, come here. Come on. Okay. You're okay. You're okay. Stay with me, okay? I got you. All right? You're going to be okay. I know it's loud noises. Okay. So let's get back to this here. You want to say hi? Is that Luna? Yeah. You want to say hi? Look at, there she is. Hey, kiddo. You all right? I know. It's okay. You're going to be okay. You want to say hi to people? You want to say hi? I'm Luna. Yes. You're so sweet. Okay. Let me just pull this up for you guys. Okay. All right. So if you're trying to understand this, let me move myself down here so you can see this better. Okay. Let me scroll in here so you can, my eyes are not as good as they used to be. So if a bank were to build their own blockchain services in-house, all right, you're kind of like, what goes into that? How long does that take? So the feasibility and planning, right, to build this, the initial research, the strategy, the alignment, regulatory assessment, and internal approvals, this could take 3 to 12 months. Once they figure out what they're going to build and where they're going to build it, the testing and development could take 12 to 24 months. This is building the core blockchain infrastructure, integrating with existing banking systems, security hardening, internal testing. This is a phase that is highly variable depending on the complexity of the use case, whether it's payments, custody, or even settlement. Okay, the next part is regulatory approval and compliance. You can do regulatory approval and compliance at the same time you're doing development and testing. So engaging with regulators, obtaining necessary licenses, and ensuring the solution meets compliance. Most of these banks are going to have the right licenses already to do this, but they might need crypto service licenses and things like that. So just keep that in mind. And then they got to pilot it, and then they got to deploy it, which could take another 6 to 12 months. Look at this timeline. Look at the timeline here. 2 to 3 years, right? Could be the minimum. The maximum, the realistic time frame that this could take banks and institutions, 3 to 5 years. Why am I showing you this? Like, why is this important? The reason I'm showing you this is because banks might choose to take the easy road. Banks might choose to not take in all of that risk. They might choose to go to talk with Circle, Ripple, Fireblocks, or any other of these institutional grade blockchain companies that can offer custody, payments, settlement, tokenization. These types of things are extremely important for these banks. Also, being first to market, right? That is also important. If you run, a top 5 bank, your competition is everybody in that top 5 or the top 10, okay? If you want to stay relevant, if you want to keep your customers happy, you need to be able to offer services, and you need to be able to do it in a timely manner. It's okay. I know. Watch your head here. You're okay. Sorry about that. Always bad timing with this. Anyways, I hope that helps you guys understand all that. 100 pounds of love. Thank you so much. Luna is 12 years old. Oh, you're talking about your Luna? Oh, that's so cute, man. How old is Luna? Luna is 5 years old. You're killing me, bro. That's my dream dog. Oh, you want to see her again? Look. Here. Hey, come on. It's okay. You want to say hi? Oh, we're not happy, Dad. I know. It's okay. The loud noises are stopping soon. Luna is a special Yorkie. She is a Buer Yorkie Terrier. Right, Luna? Yes, you're so special. She gets like mobbed when we go to the mall. We have this little stroller that we put her in, and her head just sticks out the top. Oh my God, she's so cute. All right, hey, it's okay. You want to go down? Oh, her heart is racing. Here, just stay with me for a second, okay? All right. Oh. Oh, here you go. Here you go. You couldn't pay me to do this job. We'll continue after this in just a second. Let me just get her through this. But here, the guy, look, he climbs on my balcony to clean. Whoa, you couldn't, like, this guy is nuts. See this? He's standing in this little thing. He drops in. Ah, crazy, right? Man, I hope that guy has good insurance. Seriously. I would be so nervous. I couldn't do that job. I couldn't do that. Okay, sweetheart, it's all done now. You're good. You want to go lay down, take a nap? You're stressed out. I know. You're okay. Here, I'm going to put you down. Go lay down in your bed, okay? You're okay. It's already done. All right, she's going to be a little bit anxious for a few minutes. It's okay. All right, let's get back to this. Anybody that is a dog person in the chat, I absolutely love you already, okay? Let's continue here. All right. I just want to show you some examples. I mean, there's so much information floating online between like Visa and Ripple and XRP. I don't really need to spend too much time on this, but if you're interested, there are a ton of connections. So let's just keep it going. There was a new video here that Crypto Erie, who is kind of like the queen of the XRP community. She's such an incredible person. She interviewed the president and CEO of 3iQ, and this is the clip. Let's play it.
We, at the end of the day, when people buy our ETF, we take the cash, and then we call all of our liquidity providers globally, and we negotiate as little as possible to, in terms of the cost to do the transaction. No retail investor could ever buy XRP at the price that we're getting it globally. And we buy it and then we put it in cold storage. And what it does is we are some of the best in the world at tracking the price of XRP while holding the spot asset. So when you buy our ETF, you're getting really tight tracking of the price, and you're owning the actual underlying asset.
That's why they call this one a physically backed.
A physically backed ETF, correct.
Yeah, it's great.
They're much more complicated to run, but because we believe in the space and we believe that people should own the underlying, we go the distance to make sure that it's possible. As a thank you to the community and as a means to try to get as many people in the space as possible, we waived all fees for the next 6 months. And so for the next 6 months, you can come in, there are no fees. And then after that, we are still the cheapest compared to everyone else who have tried to launch these similar products.
Really quickly, somebody said something in the chat. Let me just read this really quickly. Curtis said Crypto Eerie has been slating XRP lately. I used to like her content, but now she's saying XRP is useless. Really? I mean, she's interviewing so many people in the XRP space, and she posts a lot about XRP and DeFi. Do you think it was like a one-off thing, or she misspoke? Because like I haven't heard that, but I'll have to take that into consideration going forward. I'll have to Curtis, you have my Twitter account, right? Can you find that clip or whatever if you know where it is and send it to me? I'd like to better understand what's being said so I can ask her about it, because I talk with her back and forth, and I can ask her, man. Oh, Chris had a question above here. Okay, I'm sorry about that, Chris. All right. Why do I always see BlackRock buying ETH and Bitcoin? Can we see those transactions? And we hear that they are buying XRP behind the scenes, but we never see the XRP transactions. Is there any at all? So there's two things here. Let's address the first one. BlackRock buying ETH and Bitcoin. Yes, people are like, if you go on here, let me see here. Let's pull up Twitter. Let's go share. Let's see Bitcoin, BlackRock inflows. We should be able to pull up some data on this. Yeah, you know what I mean? Because here you go. So like, they are able to track this somehow. I mean, I'm sure I could figure this out. You know what? What is the best way to track BlackRock's buying of Bitcoin? Let's see if we can solve this right now. Man, I love this. BlackRock's accumulation of Bitcoin primary via iShares Trust has become a major blah, 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 blah. Dedicated BitDo.io offers real-time historical data. Boom. Boom, boom, boom. Here we go. Here it is. ETF volumes. I mean, I'm sure if we took a few minutes here, we could definitely better understand this. But yes, here, let me share this link with you so you can look this up yourself too. Let me hold on. Let me see. Share. Anyone with the link, copy link here. So if you want to track, use that link. You're going to be able to track all of that data. Now, to address your other question of BlackRock buying XRP. Now, I've seen, other people with XRP channels. I don't want to like drop names, and that's not what this is about, but I've seen a lot of people saying that they already are buying and they have, a friend on the inside or whatever. I can't verify any of that. Do I believe that BlackRock is going to get into an XRP ETF? I do believe that. Is it crazy to think that BlackRock understands that eventually that they're going to offer these services to people and maybe buying some before that? Maybe, an institution like BlackRock they have so much effing money under management. They can pretty much do whatever they want, whenever they want. So, I guess it's 50-50, right? Some people believe that they are already buying. Some people believe they're not, and they want to see the information. I'm in between. I believe that they could be buying, but it really, if they were buying, $1 billion worth of XRP, we would see it on the charts, I would imagine. You do see some big whale buys of hundreds of millions of dollars, right? And you start to wonder, like, who the heck is investing hundreds of millions of dollars in XRP? Could some of those wallets be related? Could some of the NDAs, or contracts that Ripple has that are not made public, could one of those be, with BlackRock to sell them XRP? Remember, Ripple's trying to get the judge to overturn her decision about institutional sales of XRP, right? Imagine Ripple being able to once again sell XRP to institutions. That would open up a lot of money for Ripple. Of course, that could add selling pressure and all kinds of other stuff, but we're just in super speculation land right now. Anyways, I hope that helps you better understand what's happening. Why would they purchase Bitcoin with such ferocity when there is no true clarity there? So it's not them, right? They're getting orders from regular people that have BlackRock accounts. BlackRock is facilitating the ETF. Okay, so you're buying shares of this ETF that represent a certain amount of Bitcoin, right? And so BlackRock needs to fund that fund with actual Bitcoin, because when people sell, they need to sell it, and vice versa. So this is BlackRock customers buying. Now, if BlackRock were, so the way we get BlackRock to get into an XRP ETF is you need BlackRock customers asking for it, but you also need, clarity as well. So I hope that helps you, brother. Richard, good to see you, man. Always a pleasure, man. Always a pleasure. I was going to screenshot her comments from last video. It's in her last video. Curtis, if you could send that to me, man, I'll look at it. I'll try to look for it after this. Just the Tuesdays are a crazy day for me, man. I like 4 video recordings. I've had 3 meetings. I've done 6 shorts, and I put together a live stream. These live streams take me a few hours to put together because there's so much information I have to look at. I have to research. I have to, put it in order. So I'll do my best to take a look at that. But thank you for sharing that, man. I really do appreciate you. All right, there's a few other things we should get into. I do want to talk about this because, man, it is nice to make money in the crypto space. And, this was something that was really, really nice. So in my community, Cryptonaires, there's just a lot of really smart people. And all of these people are actively working with each other to find new information, find new projects, find opportunities. And this is an example of a successful, sharing of intelligence in the crypto space. And that's turned into a really great week for some of our members here that got into this. And actually, if you were here last Tuesday, you got this information too, right? So really great to see this. So if you're not familiar with Angel Token, this is actually quite incredible. They have in tremendous goals. The people behind this, they actually are a part of a mortgage company called Sun West, and that company is valued at billions and billions of dollars. Okay, and they're trying to make it easier for people to get mortgages, as well as create different AI digital twins. And so this was a really unique project. This was put together. The launch was put together by Lady Trader. She did an incredible job on this launch, the marketing and everything involved. My hat is off to her. She does incredible work. And we were able to get into this. It launched at about 1.2 million market cap. And just to show you where this is right now, we are close to 10 million, 9.68 million market cap. And just to give you some perspective on this, I was able to invest about 2.2 Ethereum, and I got in right after it launched. And, this is now a, 600%, 700% gain for me personally. And so, you know, my current bag is close to about $30,000, maybe $32,000. So very happy that I was able to get in. And I really appreciate all the community members who are sharing all of this information. And I know there was some community members that really did get into this early. I saw a comment from one member that it really made me smile. Let me see if I can find it in the chat. I think it was Jimmy that posted this. Let me see. There's just a lot of really cool. Oh yeah, here it is. Here it is. Here it is. Let me pull this really quickly. Here. This was really fun to read here. All right, here you go. Check this out. So this was a member of my community, you know, commenting about, you know, the angel and how early he got in. And then Templar said, I went in 3 minutes after launch. I've never been so early before. That made me so happy. That made me so happy. Someone that has not gotten into something early enough, and now they're up, you know, hundreds of a percent in less than a week. That makes me feel really good. That makes me feel really good. So I love it. You know, great to see. As long as we can keep helping people understand the crypto market and giving them good information at the right time, you know, success can be made, and it's just really awesome. So let's keep it going here. There's a lot of other information I want to talk to you about, and I'll answer some of your questions here. And then we're waiting for the CEO of More Markets. He should be here in about 15 minutes. So let me see if I can, let me see here. Let me pull this back up. No, I don't want to talk about that just yet. I did see this new BIS clip here. Do you guys see this yet already today? So the BIS, if you're not familiar with the BIS is, they're like the central bank of central banks. Hold on. Are you okay? Go lay down, baby. You're okay. Go lay down. All right. The BIS is the central bank of central banks. They help like sandboxes. They help with some policy and things like that. And other central banks really rely on them to do a lot of this testing. And so they put this thing out. Tokenization represents a transformative innovation to improve the old and enable the new. Tokenized central bank reserves, commercial bank money, and government bonds could revolutionize financial markets, payments, and the monetary system. Here is the, I opened up the document here just to show you what this looks like. You know, the link, there is a 38-page text, which I'm not going to read that to you because everybody would leave. But here's the video that was in this text. Let me play this for you. You can do that.
Tokenization refers to the digital representation of claims on a programmable platform. Think of it as a digital representation that also incorporates the rules and logic governing transfers. It enables the integration of messaging, reconciliation, and asset transfers into a single seamless operation. And its potential lies in its ability to knit together operations encompassing money and other assets that reside on the same platform, a unified ledger, so-called. And these functionalities can come without sacrificing the safeguards on the integrity and governance of the monetary system. A well-functioning monetary and financial system is not simply a matter of the technology. It's also important to have the economics right, too. Our monetary system provides three key features: the singleness of money, elasticity, which allows users to discharge obligations in a timely way without waiting for incoming payments, and safeguarding the integrity of the system against financial crime. And tokenization can be used while incorporating all these features. Well, actually, for stablecoins, it's precisely these three properties that it does less well on singleness, on elasticity, and on integrity. Realizing the full potential of tokenization will require central banks, other public authorities, and the private sector to work together closely. Central banks need to show bold leadership to overcome key impediments in such a system, notably the lack of common standards and an easily available settlement asset, as well as legal uncertainty. And central banks can act as catalysts for innovation, fostering collaboration between public and private sectors, and ensuring that new technologies are harnessed to serve the public good.
All right. I wanted to address something, a question somebody had. Let's go ahead and get into that. Agachi, really cool name. Nice to see you. I said, what do you think will be the average price for HBAR when the market goes all in? So what we're talking about here is full adoption. Excuse me. We're talking about full adoption, right? If you're just like getting into the crypto market and you haven't been through the cycles, you need to really understand like what is about to happen. Okay. We are still in a 4-year cycle market. Now, there are people that believe that one day we're going to be out of this and it's going to be a super cycle, like all good, right? But I personally believe that we have so much time here before the market has a downturn and, you know, we go back down to lower prices. And of course, we build up for the next cycle, which I think that one could be the utility market, right? Because institutions are coming in, regulation is finally happening in the US. You know, there's a big push forward. And, you know, if regulation gets passed very quickly and banks can start selling crypto and things like that, that could have a huge impactful role, but we still are probably on this roller coaster. Now, if we look at the HBAR chart, let's just pull this up so we can better understand what we're talking about here. So we got HBAR chart here, which I'm not sharing. I do apologize. There it is. We're good. So looking back at the price back in the 2021 cycle, we have 45 cents. Now, this had about $1.3 billion in volume. And, you know, this was obviously a time where there was a lot less on the market to choose from. Now with like the, you know, invention of all of these meme coin platforms, it's really ruined a large part of the market. Like instead of people putting money into utility projects, people were chasing, you know, lottery tickets. And, you know, it probably hasn't ended well for a lot of people. You know, I can't tell you how much money I've lost on meme coins. You know, specifically 90% of them fail. Some of the ones that succeed, you do make it back, but it's like you're constantly having to chase and you're constantly getting rugged. And I can't spend too much time in that ecosystem. Coming back to HBAR and its utility, as you can see here, kind of towards the end of 2024, when, you know, the news about Trump getting in and, you know, all this positive crypto news, this thing popped up to about 33 cents. Now, I don't think it's crazy that the market cap for Hedera could go like 60 billion, 80 billion this cycle. I don't think that's unheard of. But, you know, I don't think we're talking about 200 or 300 billion, right? Because I think that would be a bridge too far in this market, but I could be totally wrong. You know, I think this is good for, you know, a few X, but when we're talking about its full utility price, if you're bringing on trillions of dollars into the, you know, blockchain space, Hedera is probably one of the top solutions for a lot of these financial institutions. I mean, we've even seen the DTCC patents that has HBAR on it. So I think there's a lot of institutions that are going to be working with HBAR to bring this value on. And, you know, is it so crazy that the market cap of HBAR could be a few $1 trillion or multiple trillions, you know, 5, 10, $20 trillion over the next 10 years? I don't think it's impossible. But you know what? Nobody has a crystal ball. But I do think HBAR is probably one of the most looked at for institutional use. And of course, you know, you have your XRPs and you have your other tokens that people are really interested in using for, you know, institutional cross-border payments, tokenization of financial assets. I think HBAR will play a vital role in that. So I know that was, you know, kind of whatever answer, but truth be told, I don't think anybody knows truly where you know the price could go. But I think the sky could be the limit on some of these assets, really, you know, over the next 10 years, especially if they're going to be used to house, you know, 10 trillion, $50 trillion worth of financial assets. I don't think it's crazy that these things would be hundreds of dollars eventually, thousands of dollars eventually. I mean, if Bitcoin can go to 100K, you know, what's stopping, you know, Quant or XRP or some of these other ones? What are we talking about, Seth? It was been her post yesterday from her. Of course, I appreciate you being here. Oh, we talking about Arthur Brito in the tweet 5,890 days later or something? Is that what we're talking about, WH? What did you say here? Absolutely, Chris. Explore AI. Yeah. So the reason I like Perplexity, I've used a few different AIs, and everybody has like their different, what they like. I just felt like that I use it. I'm on Perplexity more than I'm on like Google now. I don't really use Google too much other than to just like check some things. But Perplexity, I'm on that thing like 100 times a day. I have it on my phone. I have it on my thing. It's just it really comes in handy on a lot of different situations. Are we talking about HBAR? Or are we talking about XRP? Probably XRP, right? Suppression X, good to see you. Thank you for being here. Your question is, hey, how are you, Sensei? I hope you guys are doing well. I've been hearing Flare is making big moves soon for XRP yield. What do you think about Flare? I think you're right. I've heard a lot of really positive things. I think Flare has kind of been struggling with price because of, people have been claiming their XRP airdrop and just dumping it. Some people have been saving it, right? Majority of people save it. But some people dump, and that's really caused the price to suffer over a long period of time. And we are at a place now where that is coming to an end soon. In January, in 2026, that will stop. But is Flare something that can do extremely well over the next 6 to 8 months? Probably. I'd imagine it will, especially if XRP DeFi really takes off. Flare is like one of those layers that's going to be vitally important for that. It's really cool to see, Charles Hodgkinson at midnight talking about being the DeFi layer for the XRP ledger. I don't know if Charles Hodgkinson is like trying to, drum up some support from the XRP community. I don't really care what his intentions are. If he's able to really bring some utility to the XRP ecosystem, I'm all for it. When you have Flare, you have Midnight, and you have other things that are being pushed forward, I think there's a lot of good things ahead for the XRP ecosystem. We want builders. We want DeFi applications. We want, young hackathons and all of these different things, right? The more projects that can be built, the more XRP that will be needed. The more XRP that will be needed, the less XRP that will be available on the open market, and that would bring the price up. So all of these things could help eventually, and I'm really hoping that it does. I got you. I think XRP is expected to go down again, closer to 196 dip. The Israel-Iran war ended like it was scripted, very fast, no official declaration, just words in the wind. I don't think anybody knows what's going on with this, man. Like, not to get too much into this because it's a very sensitive issue. But I did see Trump talking about a ceasefire, and like as he put out a thing for a ceasefire, Israel did like one of the worst attacks on Iran, dropped as many bombs as they could. So I don't know, man. Like I think Iran, they're just getting pummeled right now, and there's a lot of loss of life, and it's incredibly sad. And I hope cooler heads prevail here. I don't think the U.S. wants to get into another ground war in the Middle East. I think that would just be freaking awful. And I hope cooler heads prevail and they can come to the table and work this stuff out. I can't tell you how this is going to end. I can't tell you, man. What platform are you buying Angel on? Hey, Erlen Stevens. Hey, that's a great question. Can I provide some information to help you go to the right place? So what you want to do is here is their Twitter account. Obviously you want to be taking information directly from the Twitter account, right? Just make sure. They did post the information here. This does have 35,900 followers. Let me provide the Twitter account so you're familiar with it. It's in the chat right now. I will also give you this tweet that should have the correct information. 93, yes, that is the correct information. There it is for you. I hope that helps you, okay? Definitely show up to the spaces that they're doing and more information. I'm actually working to get the founder of Angel in a chat maybe over the next few weeks. I'm talking to Edo Farino. He's gonna be here. Does anyone know who Edo is? I'm gonna have him come in next week to talk with you guys too. Lots of really cool things are going on, and I'm trying to line up a good time to bring in Pavan. I think his name is Pavan. He's got a very unique name that I keep forgetting, so I do apologize. I'm so bad with names. Like people in my building, I can't remember their names, but I remember their dog names. Does anyone else do that? Like you see people and you're like, hey, how's Charlie doing? Or how's there's a few Lunas in our building. So anyways, getting distracted here. Coinbase IPO. Oh God, man. Did you see how much money that the C class people in Coinbase sold and dumped on retail? It was hundreds of millions of dollars. One of the C-suite people in Circle sold a ton early. I think that person's probably regretting that decision. They sold it before it did like a 5x or something, right? Oh, could you imagine? Like you got like $30 million, but you could have had like 150 million if you just waited a week. Ooh, that burns. That burns, man. Let's see here. Are you investing or leveraging on XRP? I am not leveraging. Like I don't do leverage. I have a few friends that got just completely wrecked, built up a bag, hundreds of thousands of dollars, and then lost it on one leverage play. So I stay away from leverage. I know we have a chart specialist in Cryptonaires that posts some different leverage stuff that person specifically is doing. But I don't have any knowledge around it. All right. Dude, this is a great question. It's a great question, right? Like it really depends how much XRP can pump in this bull market, right? So you have to like back up and understand all of these different things are kind of coming to a head. You have the ETF approval. That's probably waiting for the SEC and Ripple case. If that gets settled in August, like it could be a really big boom in Christmas, right? Like that is what could bring in $5 billion, $10 billion pretty quickly. And that could be extremely impactful for XRP's price. I did see the founder of More Markets jump in here. I'll be there in just 1 second. I just want to finish this question here. But yeah, if we can get a big pump, obviously the reduction in XRP price would be higher. If nothing really else happens over the next 6 months and we stay in this range between $2 and $3, we could be heading back below $1. Definitely. Like that is probably something that could very well happen. But let's do this, guys. Let's shift gears here. We finally are at a place where we can welcome the founder of More Markets.
Hey, Sensei, how's it going? Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. Is anyone else joining, or is it you?
It's just going to be me. Altan is there's a big conference in New York right now, permissionless. So he's busy with that, but yeah, I'm going to fill in for him.
You got big shoes to fill in, but I'm really excited to have you.
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome. Well, here, you want to go ahead and tell us maybe like who you are and what your connection to More Markets is, and then we'll kind of get into like what it is you guys have built and why it's super important.
Yeah, definitely. So I am the chief of staff at More Markets. I handle pretty much everything besides the engineering part. So strategy, BD, ops. And yeah, I can kind of, I've been with the team pretty much since the beginning, about like 2 months after they got started. So it's been almost a year, and it's been a good ride. We're launching next week. So yeah, really excited about that. But yeah, happy to go into more detail about what we're doing and what you can expect.
I love that. Why don't we talk about like what inspired you guys to create this? How long has it take to build this and test it and make sure it's safe, right?
Definitely. So what we're building More Markets. It's a earn app. And we're targeting tokens that are underutilized in DeFi, specifically XRP. Eventually, we want to include Bitcoin as well. And we want to turn those into yield-bearing assets, and we want to build markets around them in active DeFi ecosystems. So basically, we started off, we were called Nuffle Labs, and we were an infrastructure company. And we were building cross-chain infrastructure to allow assets to move from one blockchain to another. And we got to a point where we realized that technology is almost solved for. There's projects like Layer Zero and Wormhole that have built really good technology. So we figured it's time to build out the application layer. So about 3 months ago, we rebranded to More Markets, and we decided to build a DeFi app. And yeah, we figured we were looking kind of through the top 10 tokens on CoinMarketCap. And there's XRP, which has like $150 billion market cap, but earns almost no yield and is very underutilized in DeFi. There's like a 0.01% utilization rate. So we figured we'd build around this and figure out a way to create representations of XRP on Ethereum, on Solana, on L2s, and figure out how to get yield for depositors on our platform. So yeah, that's the idea. We've been cooking for quite a while. We've had like the underlying infrastructure built out for a good bit, but the last 3 months we've been building out the application, the UX, the website, going through audits. We got 3 audits from some of the top auditors, and good. Yeah, we should be ready to go.
I think part of the problem with XRP and finding ways to help people provide extra yield, the SEC and Ripple case didn't help, right? I think a lot of developers decided not to build on the XRP ledger because of all of that risk. And now that you're seeing kind of clarity and hopefully clear skies coming soon, I think a lot more people are coming in and building applications to earn this type of yield. Now that you have different companies kind of doing something very similar, how are you guys going to stand out and really provide not only top customer service for the people that are using your platform, but how do you guys stay relevant and make sure that More Markets is going to be here 5 to 10 years in the future?
Definitely, that's a great question. So one thing that's very important to crypto, which is core to the ethos of crypto in general, is self-custody and transparency. And so most yield products, especially around XRP, are centralized and they're not transparent about where the yield comes from. So that's how you run into problems like BlockFi, like Celsius, and there's liquidations and there's people losing their money. So one thing that was core to us is we want to uphold those values. So we are building an entirely self-custodial app. You always have control over your own tokens. You're using your own non-custodial wallet to connect to the application. And we'll always be fully transparent about where the yield is coming from. So whatever strategies we deploy in, that'll be made visible to the users, to the depositors. And yeah, you'll be clear about how you're earning all this money.
Can you explain, how does More Markets fundamentally change the way liquidity works across different blockchains? How does that all come together?
Right. So yeah, one of the things is the XRP ledger doesn't have smart contracts yet. Yeah. So that's holds it back from being able to build some of the protocols that are super popular on like Ethereum and Solana, like lending protocols where people are earning yield, like AMMs where people are swapping tokens and providing liquidity and earning for doing that. So what we're doing is we are taking deposits on the XRP ledger, we're locking it in a vault, and then we're minting a representation of XRP. It's going to be called More XRP on Ethereum, on Solana, on Arbitrum, on Base, and we are building lending markets around that asset. So we will post More XRP as collateral, we'll borrow stable coins, and we'll run strategies to earn yield. But that's done on the back end, and on the front end for the user, it's very simple. It's almost like a Web 2 experience. You just connect your wallet, deposit your tokens, and then you're making more money.
Love that. Love that. You did bring up the vault, right? Is that the boring vault? Can you kind of explain a little bit more in detail what that is and how that keeps customer funds safe?
Yeah. So boring vault is kind of the industry standard for these type of things. It's by Veda. That's the company, and they open sourced it, so it's used by all yield strategy vault projects. So they have a set of smart contracts that lock a vault securely and enable DeFi protocols to do different things. Like if we want to mint different versions of the token, build lending markets around that, you can do that. So that's the idea.
What role does near protocol chain, their signatures play in enabling smart contractless chains to participate? So how does near help you guys be more successful, or what is their role inside of more markets?
Yeah, near is it's very important to the protocol. If people don't know, all our founders, Altan, Sam, Frat, Don, they were all core contributors to Near Protocol, and Ilya is an investor and an advisor, strong supporter of us. Near chain signatures technology is very important to the protocol. So what we do is we take that XRP on the XRP ledger, we lock it in the boring vault, and then we create a decentralized MPC network, which is through chain signatures. Or we don't create that, but we use that. And it's basically using Near's infrastructure to give smart contract functionality now with this token. And then that's how we mint other version. And then we use that to mint other versions on other chains.
Wow. Okay. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Talk to us about how you guys handle deposits and withdrawals, and what happens if there isn't enough liquidity to cover withdrawal requests. Is there ever is that ever going to happen where there's not enough liquidity to honor somebody's withdrawal? How do you guys handle all of that?
Yeah. So shorter answer is no. We make sure that the vault is entirely backed with sufficient collateral. So okay. That wouldn't happen. There will be an option for users to lock up their tokens for like a longer period of time. You can say like, I will lock this up for a month or 3 months, and you can earn additional yield for that. But if you're not doing that, you'll always be able to withdraw your tokens, and there will be sufficient liquidity.
Is the yield stable coins? Is it more XRP? What are going to be the options that people are going to be able to ask or qualify for or get as part of being more markets and providing this liquidity?
Yeah. So we are going to be running a few different strategies, and that's still in the works, and we'll always be kind of iterating on that. Yeah. So one thing we will be doing is like borrowing against the XRP with borrowing stable coins, and then putting those stable coins into AMMs or lending protocols and farming yield. Another thing we'll do is run basis trades. So a basis trade is when you're long and short an asset at the same time, and you farm the funding rate. So we'll be doing that against the XRP. And then we have a few other strategies in the works that aren't fully finalized. So there's going to be, basically we want to have as many options as possible to get yield, and wherever there's liquidity available, wherever there's the most yield is where we'll deploy, and eventually this will all get automated.
Love that. Walk us through what it's going to be like for a user. Like I go on to more markets, what do I do next? Do I create an account? I obviously have to connect my wallet in some way. Walk us through like the flow of what this is going to look like, and how long, a typical user will take to interact with the protocol to successfully provide yield or liquidity or some whatever it is that, they're requested of.
Definitely. So yeah, that's a great question. So we are currently you're able to connect your Zaman wallet. You're able to connect through Wallet Connect. And then we also have a Web3 auth integration, so you can sign in with a Gmail or any social login, and you create an account and we create a wallet in the back end for you. So it's very simple. We want to now start adding some of the more institutional players like Fireblocks and BitGo and Anchorage, and have ways for those guys to connect to the protocol as well. So basically, if you have a wallet, you can connect it. If you don't have a wallet, we can spin one up for you if you put your email in. And then if you're using one of the more institutional custodians or key management providers, we'll have an option for that as well.
Most of the crypto market is extremely complicated for the average user. How can more markets make this more simpler for people to better understand it, as well as how do you guys plan to communicate with Web2 people to bring them in to participate in what more markets is doing in Web3?
Yeah. So that's been like probably the biggest hurdle to adoption for crypto, is that the stuff is really complicated. Using non-custodial wallets, centralized exchanges, on and off ramping, bridging. It's annoying. Sometimes it's not the safest. Sometimes people lose money. So it's very important for us to abstract away all the complexity, and we want to make it as simple an experience as possible. So basically, we want you to show up with your wallet, connect it, deposit your tokens. Even if you don't have a wallet, then we'll have a way for you to send tokens from your centralized exchange, and then you just click earn. We're very big on like the one button policy. That's like a big thing throughout our CTO has been stressing. Is we want it to be as simple as possible. Just like click earn and start earning. In the back end, we will be handling all the complexity of dealing with DeFi, finding the best yields. Customers are just supposed to sit, relax, and make money.
Sounds easy, but it never usually is. But so if you guys can make it actually easy, that'll be impactful for everybody. I wanted to bring in a few questions from the community. Richard said, does More have a non-custodial DeFi option, like a designated wallet where an owner can have keys to their own crypto?
Yes, so absolutely. So Zaman wallet is the main non-custodial wallet in the XRP ledger.
Yeah.
You can connect that. You'll hold on to your keys and be able to use the protocol.
Love that. Chris asked, is a vault different than a cold wallet? So he's talking about the boring vault. Is it different from a cold wallet, he's asking, and do they act similarly? Are they kind of the same?
I would say it is different than a cold wallet. The vault is a smart contract, so it lives on chain, and it's part of the protocol. A cold wallet would be more used to like where you hold your crypto kind of offline. That's the idea.
All right, fantastic. Let me do this. Let me lower this really quickly. I did want to ask you a few other things on most projects. The biggest problem that they run into is being able to scale. So how do you guys plan to onboard new chains and assets, and what is your approach to scale and still be here years to come?
So I think there's a few answers to that. So one is just build a good product and offer the best yield. That's our number one focus, and looks like we're on track to do that. The other thing is leverage partnerships. So we've been, going to a bunch of conferences. We're already very integrated into the community. We have built good relationships with all the blockchain foundations. Altan, Sam and I we just had lunch with the Flare guys.
Yeah.
We're looking to
Cool.
hopefully do something with them. So, so I think it's going to be building a great product and then leveraging our relationships to kind of get that longevity.
I was just gonna ask, do you see Flare and what Charles Hodgkinson's building with Midnight? Are they competition, or can you work with them to provide even more value to the XRP community?
Yeah, I think the name of the game is kind of growing the pie. So crypto is like in the scale of the world, crypto is very small still. There's a lot of room to grow. So I think it's best to kind of like work together and grow the pie so everyone can eat more.
What are the biggest challenges that you guys have faced in, building a global liquidity marketplace? And, how have you guys addressed them? And have there been other challenges that you guys had to overcome over the last few years building this platform?
Yeah. I mean, there's been challenges on the technical side. Like it's a deep technical issue to solve. So I thankfully don't have to deal with that, but our engineering team has been working late nights. It has been tricky as well on the BD side, and because XRP kind of operates separately from a lot of these other ecosystems, like the crypto Twitter world, where like all the ETH maxis are and the Solana people are. So yeah, kind of like figuring out how we fit in to that world has been a challenge, but it's been a good one and one we've like learned a lot from.
I love that, man.
Yeah.
Does More Market have a plan, or has this been a conversation between your team on kind of how you can help other maybe up and coming projects in the XRP or whatever, near protocol chain? How you guys have any processes or plans to work with smaller, up and coming projects to help them, get to a place where, you guys are?
Yeah, I think so. Kind of the way things work in crypto, or the way successful projects work, kind of like Hyperliquid and projects that start with a smaller use case and then turn into like a bigger platform where other projects can build on top of them is ideal. So I think the best thing that we can do is focus on our small niche right now, build the best product we can, get the most TVL possible, and offer the most yield. And then we can expand beyond that and turn into more of a platform and more of an ecosystem where we can support up and coming projects as well.
Looking ahead over the next, 6 months, 12 months, what are going to be some of the top priorities that you and your team and More Markets have moving forward?
Yeah, definitely. So yield is number one. So we're going to be, we brought on a head of DeFi, George Denenes. He was one of the guys who started MEV Capital. So he's leading our efforts on building the best yield strategies. And so that involves kind of technical analysis, thinking through things like impermanent loss, best like liquidity provision strategies, and then also building relationships with other blockchain foundations, other DeFi protocols. So that'll be the main priority.
There was a question from the community talking about does More Markets offer scheduled, like, do you guys offer any type of family planning or anything like that?
So that isn't part of our roadmap. But yeah.
No worries. It's just sometimes the community have questions, and sometimes it's not quite relevant, or people just don't know exactly what it is that you guys are doing or building.
Right.
Let me ask you. More Markets better than I do. What are some things that maybe I haven't asked that are super important, that are relevant? Could we kind of have we left anything out? You tell me.
Yeah, I think you've done a great job. Actually, a very thorough interview, I got to say. I I think not too much else to highlight. Honestly, we're launching
Yeah, tell us
next
about that.
week on Wednesday.
Okay.
So the protocol is open for deposits. Right now we have the website is live, so you can go get on the email list, put your email in, and you'll get updates.
Here you go.
Website looks really good. Our designers killed it with that. I don't know if there's more for me to tell you that I can. So
just really quickly, because there are going to be scams that pop up, more token, things like that. Is there a token associated with the project, or is there no token? Because I think that's going to confuse people. Let's just is there a token?
As of now, there's no token.
Okay, so just guys, Wednesday, when more markets launch, if you want to go provide liquidity or participate, obviously talk with a financial advisor, financial planner, make sure that you know what you're doing before you kind of jump in. And then also there is no token to buy. So on Wednesday, if you see more token on Solana or, something created on the XRP ledger, it is a scam. If you buy it, you will lose your money. I just want to be absolutely clear about that. Let me do this. Let me ask the community if there's any other questions maybe that we haven't addressed that's important to them. And I know you did an incredible job about answering questions. Let me just, thank you for making my job easier as an interviewer. You knew everything. So that was nice. Let me see here, guys. If there's any questions, please let us know. We do have about 700 something people on X and a few hundred people here on YouTube that are watching, but I think we've done a pretty good job here. Curtis says, let me see, does trying to give us the highest yield come at higher risk? That's a great question. So because you guys are offering higher risk, higher yield, are there more risks associated with that?
Yeah. So that's a great question. So our job is number one, security, and making sure we don't lose our customers' money. So no, we will have very safe strategies in place, very high loan to value ratios, or low loan to value ratios, to make sure that we're not at risk of being liquidated, and to make sure that customer money is always safe.
Awesome. Yeah. And then Chris had a fantastic question. Is how much capital do you guys have? And I mean, I get it if you don't want to tell us exactly, but what can you tell us?
Yeah. So we're not live yet. So there's no TVL in the protocol right now. We're going to launch on Wednesday next week. And once we do that, we'll see what happens.
Got it. So just to be clear, that you guys don't have like a pool of your own money or private investor money to back the platform just yet. You're relying on customer funds, as in most of these protocols do, to kind of get started.
Yeah. We've raised money in terms of investment, but we haven't put money into the protocol. Yeah.
Totally understand. I mean, that's how all of this stuff works. So just wanted to clarify that for everyone so they understand. And then Christopher says, how does More Markets plan to maintain liquidity and use your trust during a volatile market conditions, especially as institutional interest in digital asset increases? Thank you, Christopher.
Yeah. So the name of the game is just making sure we have enough collateral when we're on lending markets. So we'll be in very safe positions. So even if XRP is to draw down a lot, we won't be at risk of liquidation. So that's the idea. The yield is supposed to come from sustainable, relatively safe strategies. And we're targeting to start 5% yield. So we're not shooting for the crazy 25-30% yield where people
Terra Luna
get screwed over.
One thing that I have a question that popped up into my head, is crypto still kind of feels like the Wild West, right? Is there any type of there's been a lot of hacks and a lot of different things that happen in the crypto space, a lot of things that, were felt safe became unsafe. Is there any type of insurance policy or anything, like when people put funds on the platform, if something catastrophic happens, is there any kind of recourse for people, or is it like, hey, we did our best, but this is the risk that you're taking by putting money on the platform, just like anything else?
Yeah, so it's part of the plan for the protocol to establish sort of like an insurance reserve. So if there are catastrophic events, we can dip into that to make sure customers are whole. But yeah, that's the plan.
Awesome, man. Thank you so much. And then one other question that somebody had was, how many employees do you guys currently have?
Yeah, so we're a pretty small team. We have about 12 guys right now.
Need some women.
Yeah, that's true. We do need one of those. Yeah, right now all guys, but yeah, 12.
I understand. All good. Anything that you want to say in closing? Anything maybe we haven't covered, or anything that you feel that you want to share with the community? Now's a good time.
Yeah. I think I'm very excited about this because the XRP community is, I think, the strongest in all of crypto. And for the longest time, it's been ETH people earning a bunch of yield, Solana people earning a bunch of yield. These opportunities have kind of passed by the XRP community, and so we're very excited to kind of level the playing field and bring yield to XRP. So yeah, I'm excited for next week and happy to have the XRP army behind us.
I love that. Do me a favor, when you guys launch, I'd love to have you back to give us some updates about how successful things have gone. Any updates that are happening, please share them with me, and I'll share them live with the audience as we go through the next few weeks and few months. We do wish you all the success in the world. Thank you for spending time and helping us better understand more markets and what you guys are building. I and the rest of the community wish you all the success in the world, and thank you for bringing some utility and yield to the XRP space. We wish you all the luck, man. We really do.
Appreciate that. Thank you for having me.
Take care. All right. Appreciate you.
See you guys.
All right. That was More Markets. Appreciate all of your questions, guys. I know, we could probably spend, 10 hours, going back and forth, but I think we got a really good idea of what More Markets is trying to do and offer. We really do. I really appreciate projects like this that are trying to create utility around the XRP token. And, if we can get more unique and incredible builders like this, the XRP community will be that much stronger. So I really appreciate your time. Thank you for being here. I did want to spend some time and see if there's any questions I can answer. We got $10. Hook Luna up with a T-bone steak. Kobos, thank you so much, man. I do really appreciate it, and Luna really appreciates you too. Any donations made to the channel, guys, we do go and we spend that on Luna. So I greatly appreciate you. Luna will say thank you. We'll have to get Luna something really good and take a picture and show you next time, Kobos. I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. Wow, lucky Luna. Absolutely. I think there was maybe a few other things that I wanted to talk about or address today, but like, if you guys have any questions about anything, now's a good time. We could try to answer those, to my best ability, and go from there. Anything you guys got? I know we covered a lot today, and it was really great to have one of the founders of More Market here to explain. It sounds like what they're doing is really cool. Obviously, anything comes with risk, so please understand the risks before you get involved. But it is nice to see somebody on camera and know kind of who is behind it and names associated with it. So, there is that. There's two sides of crypto. One where people are trying to be transparent, and one where people are trying to hide. I like the transparency side. This felt really transparent to me, and it was really nice to spend some time here. T-Bone is bigger than Luna. That's actually very true. You know, Luna is very small. Sometimes I bring Luna, like I have this pouch that I wear, you know, across my chest, and Luna goes in the pouch and her head kind of sticks out with her two paws. And, you know, we'll kind of go on our walk, you know, I'll put her down and she'll walk around. And sometimes we go to Whole Foods. And, you know, I'm at the counter, you know, getting, you know, some turkey breast and some cheese and stuff like that. And Luna's in the pouch and she's staring at like the meat in the thing. And like, oh my God, man, she's licking her lips and like, is this for me? It's like bigger than she is, you know? Anyway. Man. Can we expect a drop in Bitcoin? Armin, it really depends on like what's happening with Israel and Iran. Like the more uncertainty, the more people are scared to put it into the market. I do think this will pass. I think I hope cooler heads will prevail. I know I've seen multiple, like, here, look, check it out. let me just show you this. Here. You seen this clip? You seen this clip? Check this out.
You know what? We basically have two countries that have been fighting so long and so hard that they don't know what the fuck they're doing. Do you understand that?
Hey man, that's what we're dealing with. We, you know, you got two countries. I don't know, man. This is kind of like a. It's sad to see all destruction and people dying, and it's also kind of like it feels like a weird movie, you know. Like I don't know. This is a very strange moment in our lifetime. Scrody asked a question earlier before about more markets came on. Okay. There's been a ton of comments, Scrody. Can you grab that question and repost it for me? I'd really appreciate it. I just don't want to spend 5 minutes trying to search for something and then never find it. So if you can repost it, I greatly appreciate it, man. I'd like to address what you have to say. Is Casper a good choice? I mean, you know, I think Casper has some cool technology. I kind of just gave up on Casper because like nothing was happening. You know, upgradable smart contracts, I feel like there's a good use case for that. It feels very vanilla to me. Like, you know, not a lot's been happening, and the team really hasn't been doing much, in my opinion, to move the needle. So I don't know, man. I don't know how that's going to end up or go, but I am not buying Casper. Like the last things that I have purchased, Angel last week, I put a few $1,000 into that, maybe like 4,000. You know, that's turned into maybe like 30. I've been putting money into Sui. I bought some XRP. I bought Zbic. I bought SHX. I bought some Gray, which is Gradients. I've only bought a little bit of that. But yeah, lots of things that I feel might be better than you know, something like Casper, but you got to do what you think is best. You might know more about Casper than I do. So please, you know, that is not my cup of tea. I don't really spend time researching Casper, especially recently. So, you know, take that for what you will. Cold wallets. Your question was about cold wallets. Ledger or Treasure are good options. Yeah, Ledger or Treasure are really good options. Something like this, you know. I haven't opened it yet, but it looks really cool. All right. Here we go. Sal's official. Hey, Sensei. Love you, man. What's the deal with private ledger? Will it hold down the price? Hey, Sal's. Great to have you, man. Great question. Thank you for being here, and thank you for the love. I really appreciate you. So David Schwartz commented on private ledgers that the private ledger and the public ledger should like merge. It will morph and become one. I know that right now private ledgers are being used to like do a lot of testing by like central banks and other maybe institutional partners. I would love to see those things, merge and to see what really is going to happen. I don't think anybody truly knows, but obviously, if private ledgers are go live and, everything's kind of paired to each other, right? Where the XRP price is both the same on private and public. It'd be interesting to see, like, is there already a ton of value that's going to be added through this, or is it just going to, be a nothing burger? I don't think we really know. It feels like there's a lot of hype around it, but I would be lying to you if I told you I knew it was going to happen. And I don't want to do that. So IOTA, IOTA's good. I just like, you got to understand, I am surrounded by crypto 24/7, 365. I wake up, I'm researching, I'm in bed, like going to sleep, I'm still looking at my phone. So I am like enthralled in this. And there are so many things that get sent to me. And I just, there's too many things to buy. And I would rather buy the things that I think are still going to be here in 5 or 10 years than, go and I have to feel some type of connection to what I'm buying, right? The people behind it, the use case, the technology, like there needs to be something there for me. And some of these tokens that I just don't feel that connection. I know IOTA, Internet of Things, they had to do some like rebranding and some restructuring and stuff like that. Obviously the Internet of Things has, moved a little slower than I think, people expected, smart cities and all of these things. But I think over the next 5 years that could be impactful. I think they have goals by like 2030. I just don't know how IOTA is going to perform in this market compared to maybe like ZBIC or something else. So hard to say where it's gonna go. Amazing. IOTA is a great ecosystem. I just personally am not spending time buying it right now. I would point out that bipartisan seems to be coming through in the bills. Dems just want to limit politicians from insider stuff. Yeah, man. Like, it is. I often get railed for my political views and my speaking out about some things that I just don't care for. And I think there's a lot of, theatrical and bullshit. And I think these two parties need to just grow up and work stuff out. You've never seen so much fighting and infighting in my life. And I feel like I'm on a playground with 5-year-olds sometimes when I'm watching some of this stuff on like the news. And so I know that we are starting to get people working together, and that's a great thing. I mean, the last time that I can remember seeing some real big bipartisan support was the infrastructure bill and the CHIPS Act that Biden passed when he was in office. Like that was two things that really needed to happen. And I hope we start to see more. I think there, since Trump's been in office, there's been like 100 and something executive actions. And not really working with Congress and the Senate to pass legislation. And so how's that going to turn out? I don't know, man. But I hope they work together and figure this out. Yeah, man. ZBIC's been on a roll, brother. Been on a roll. What call wallet do you recommend? Yeah, man. Ledger is something that I use, and Zaman is also something that I use. Zaman is on your phone, XRP app. Those are the two things that I would recommend. Thank you for the question. Oh, appreciate you, Scrody. Thank you so much, man. Thank you for being here. Say, what's up, King Sal? Good to see you, brother. I know a lot of people like Say. I'm personally not buying it. What is it? It's from like the these people used to be like Facebook developers, right? Is that, dude? Let me find out, brother. Let me find out. Give me the background on SEI. Who is behind it? Let me find out, bro. I'm not personally buying it. I mean, I think like I'm really buying Sui at the moment. Say refer to investment company. Say investments company. No, dude. Hold on. Say is a native cryptocurrency, the Say network, a high-speed layer 1 designed for DeFi trading marketplaces, network engineered, blah, 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 blah. Speed and scalability, architecture. Say employs a robust battle testnet, 1.7 billion monthly earnings. Founders, Jada Jog, ex-Robinhood software engineer, Jeffrey Fang, formerly Goldman Sachs. I mean, you know, a lot of people like Say, man. A lot of people like Say. I don't think it's a terrible idea at all, you know. I am addicted to your channel as you are to crypto. Thank you for your hard work. Helps me out. A lot of people. Keep it up, Sensei. And that is thank you. That warms my heart more than you know. Appreciate you. Really, really appreciate you. I'm gonna share that with my mom. That was really nice. I've just started to get my mom into crypto finally. After like 5 years. After 5 years, she's finally like, okay, I want to get in. She's been like researching and emailing me and sending me stuff. It's really great. I'm trying to get my mom to create a digital twin of herself, right? Angel is kind of getting, you know, working with real estate agents to create digital twins. My mom's a real estate agent in San Francisco, you know, in the Bay Area. And you know, I think it'd be really cool to see her make a digital twin. So I'm working on that. But thank you, Sal's. I really appreciate you. I promise to keep informing you, keep bringing the information, keep bringing the fire. If you keep watching, I promise to do that. Thank you so much, man. Really appreciate you. Yeah, both parties do need to grow up, and I you know. Maybe they will. I think it's interesting to understand, like, you know, who what happens after, you know, after this administration is done. Like, I don't know. There's going to be a very big power vacuum in the Republican Party after you know, Trump's done with the second term. What does that look like? I don't know. It's going to be interesting to watch. I'll tell you that. There's going to be a lot of like infighting and I don't know, man. I wonder who kind of like comes out of that to run on the Republican side. Like, is it going to be some type of like senator or congressman or some random person? I don't know. Be interesting to watch though. Do you think Link reaches $1,000? I mean, are we talking about like utility value like in the future? Let's take a look at what Chainlink is priced at right now, my man. Oh my God, I'm so hungry. I forgot to eat lunch before I streamed, and that was such a bad idea. Okay, so Chainlink right now, 9 billion market cap. We're at $13. So we're talking roughly about a 90x from here, give or take. What is 90 and 9? 1.8 trillion market cap. Is that what we're talking about here? I believe so. Let me see. Let me just double check that math. If Chainlink went to 1,000 per token, what market cap? I think it's 1.8 trillion, but I could be mistaken. Let me see. Am I close? What the fudge muffins? Market cap would be 678 billion. Is that right? Maybe it is right. Okay, maybe I'm just tired. There you go. Is it possible for it to reach 678 billion? I mean, Chainlink has a fuck ton of utility, right? If Bitcoin can go to 2 trillion market cap, can the thing that interconnects a lot of the data in the crypto space? I think so. Like, I really think so. Yeah. Can you guys hear that? They're working on the freaking pool deck behind me, and they're like so hard. I get distracted when I hear banging. The room Muriel is saying 1,000. I don't believe it. Just asking. I mean, Richard, like if we're talking about this bull market, I don't think so, man. I don't think so. But if we're talking about like 5 years or 10 years from now, like maybe 10 years, is it possible? I don't think it's impossible. I mean, if we think XRP can go to $1,000 or $500, you're talking about trillions of dollars in market cap, right? Is it crazy to think Chainlink can't do 700 billion if XRP can do, like, I think there's room for it to grow. Let's see, like, hold on. You know what I want to know? I want to know is, hold on. What percentage of the crypto market does Chainlink represent? What I'm trying to do here is find out what the percentage is right now. And if the crypto market went to 100 trillion or 200 trillion, where would that leave Chainlink with the same percentage of the market, right? Using this data, if the crypto market went to 100 trillion, using this percentage of 0.27, 0%, what would be the price of Chainlink? Let's see if this can come up here. So you see what I'm doing here? I'm trying to get the percentage of Chainlink right now. It's 0.27 of the entire market. So if we went to 100 trillion or 200 trillion and Chainlink represented that same percentage, what would be the price? Here you go. Shit. If the market went to 100 trillion and Chainlink still only represented 0.27, the price would be $398. And if we went to somehow 200 trillion, I mean, this is going to take fucking, long time. Oh shit. Hold on. Man, this computer is freaking about to be done, man. About to be done. Okay. So here you go. 200 trillion, representing it'd be about $800. But personally, I think Chainlink could represent a larger share of the market moving forward. I think people just don't understand what Chainlink does fully. And until that happens, I think we're just going to be in this. How do you feel about XLM? I mean, technology is very similar, different tokenomics than XRP. I don't love the way that XLM attacks Ripple because they want attention. I do think Danelle Dixon is very smart. I think Jed McCaleb was very, very smart to hire her because he did a really bad job, in my opinion, about like expanding XLM and partnerships and being the face of it. So, do I like XLM? Yes. Do I think it'll be successful? Yes. Am I buying XLM right now? No. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people love XLM. Don't get me wrong. I'm not rushing to buy. My heart is telling me to buy as much SUI as I possibly can. I have some XLM. It's not a ton. I have XRP. I have ZBIC. I have SHX. I have a host of different other assets too. Like, I don't know, but XLM, I have some, but I'm not like XLM whale or XLM rich. Definitely not. Think XLM will go first? Yeah. I mean, I think hiring Danelle Dixon was one of the smartest things they could have done. She has been, incredible, really incredible. So good for them. Guys, listen, I am losing steam very quickly here. I am just had the longest day ever. So listen, I love you all. I appreciate all the questions. I appreciate you being here. Friday, we're going to continue with another chat. I want to have a lot more information for you. Thank you for spending this time with me. I appreciate Ariana, appreciate Curtis, appreciate everybody in the chat keeping it safe. Thank you for all the questions. Thank you for your love. Thank you for your support. It means the world to me. And just let's keep growing together. Let's keep learning together and have a fantastic week ahead. All right. Thank you. Peace. Kate's here. Oh, Kate. Bye, Kate. Vadim. I'll see everyone's coming in now late. Oh, no. All right. I'll see you guys. Thank you.